वेलकम टू स्पेशल एजुकेशन विद हामिद नकवी। अभी हाल ही में पब्लिक सर्विस कमीशन ने जूनियर स्पेशल एजुकेशन टीचर्स JSET ग्रेड 16 की वैकेंसीज़ का ऐलान किया है और ये है मेंटल रिटार्डेशंस के लिए और ब्लाइंड के लिए। आज हम मेंटल रिटार्डेशन के फील्ड की वो MCQs जो अक्सर इम्तिहानों में जो दोहराए जाते हैं वो हम अब उसकी प्रैक्टिस आपको करवा रहे हैं। तो आइए शुरू करते हैं। The term mental age was introduced by Alfred Binet, Tolman, Kindergarten या वेस्लर। सही जवाब है जी एल्फ्रेड बीने। दूसरा MCQ, according to AAMD, IQ level of severe mental retardation is 20 to 35, 40 to 55, 55 to 70, none of these। सही जवाब है जी 20 to 35। Next, difficulty in learning reading is called learning disability, dyslexia, dyscalculia या aphasia। सही जवाब है जी dyslexia। Next जी, disability is called temporary, permanent, रिवर्सेबल, क्योरेबल। डिसेबिलिटी परमानेंट होती है जी। नेक्स्ट इज Piaget used the concept of stages to describe development as consequence of 3, 5, 2 और 4। करेक्ट आंसर जी सुनहरी अल्फाज में 4। नेक्स्ट है जी डिसऑर्डर दैट आर लिंक टू द 23 क्रोमोसोम्स पेयर्स आर कॉल्ड सेक्स लिंक डिसऑर्डर, क्रोमोसोमल abnormalities, Y लिंक डिसऑर्डर, पॉलीजेनिक डिसऑर्डर। करेक्ट आंसर है जी सेक्स लिंक डिसऑर्डर। नेक्स्ट इज a child having significant difficulty in mathematics is labeled as dyscalculia, dysgraphia, dyslexia या SLD। Correct answer is dyscalculia। Next is the number of chromosomes in human being are 45, 46, 47 or 43। Correct answer is 46। Mental retardation is not a mental illness, disorder, disease or all of these disease। Mental retardation is not a disease। Next is the pair of chromosomes that determine the gender of an individual: sex chromosomes, autosomes, X-linked chromosomes or all of these। Correct answer is X-linked chromosomes। The first stage in Piaget's cognitive theory, during which the child makes purely physical responses to the environment, lasts from worth approximately 2, is called angel stage, sensory motor stage, trust versus mistrust or pre-operational stage। Correct one is the sensory motor stage। Next is IAP stands for individualized education plan, individualized education programmed, individual education plan, intellectual education plan। Correct answer is individualized education plan। The national policy for persons with disabilities was approved in year 1998, 1988, 2002 and 2009. Correct answer is 2002. In Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which need is in between the safety needs and self-esteem needs? Self-actualization, psychological needs, social needs for love and belonging, psychological needs. Correct answer is social needs of love and belonging. Which one of the following is a correct order of Maslow's hierarchy of needs? Love needs, self-actualization, esteem, safety, psychological needs. Esteem needs, safety, psychological, self-actualization, safety. Physiological, love, safety, esteem, self-actualization. Or the correct one is, excuse me, physiological, safety, love, esteem, and self-actualization. Next is an emotional state characterized by apprehension, accompanied by physiological arousal and fearful behavior, anxiety, stress, depression, or frustration. The correct one is anxiety. Next one is in cognitive development, the process which by the new experience cause existing schemas to change: accommodation, assimilation, concept formation, or object recognition. Correct one is assimilation. A child who is in the danger of substantial developmental delays because of medical, biological, or environmental factors, if early intervention services are not provided, is called impaired, disabled, at risk, or handicapped. At risk is correct answer. Next is the typical education that effectively responds to the diverse needs of learners in a class is referred to as special education, mainstreaming, IEF, inclusive education. Correct answer is inclusive education. According to census 1998, the disabled population of Pakistan is 2.9%, 2.49%, 10%, 2.53, or 4.9. Correct answer is the first one, that is 2.49. Next question is inclusive starts from Montessori level, primary level, secondary level, or higher secondary level. Correct one is right from the beginning, that is Montessori level. Next question is the term least restrictive environment means the majority of the student's day is spent in the resource room with specialist, classroom without restriction, removal from the self-contained classroom, or being placed in a setting that is as normal as possible. So last one is correct one. Ji. Next question. Ji. A class has practiced the fire drill so many times that when the alarm rings, they know exactly which route to follow. This is an example of generalization, classical conditioning, operant conditioning, contiguity learning. Correct one is classical conditioning. Next question is the perception may best be thought of as collection of sensations, neural activity, the meaning we attach to the sensory information, or objective reality. सही जवाब है जी तीसरा, the meaning we attach to sensory information. Next is a child who faces difficulty in learning new concepts but appears socially well adjusted may be referred to as mentally retarded, autistic, ADHD, or slow learner. Answer is the last one, that is the correct one, slow learner. A child who is significantly delayed in intellectual functioning and adaptive behavior is referred to as mentally retarded, autistic, ADHD, slow learner. सही जवाब है जी mental retarded. Next is it would be educationally appropriate decision to place following types of children together in a special education setting. Mental retarded and slow learner and hearing impaired, visual impaired and slow learner, mental retarded and autistic. Pehla ji, mental retarded and slow learner is the correct answer. Next is the collection of valid and reliable information about the worth of a person in order to facilitate decision maker is referred to as educational assessment, educational diagnosis, educational measurement, educational evaluation. Correct is educational assessment. Next is the curriculum can test be defined as all learning opportunities available through schooling, officially approved course outline, mapping of the content to him taught in school, a document approved by federal government. पहले वाला ठीक है जी. All learning opportunities available through schooling is curriculum. Next is the limbic system is primarily concerned with the actions that satisfy basic needs and with motivations, attention, emotions or organization. सही जवाब है जी emotions. Teaching techniques that are generally considered to have the most direct impact on effective feeling are discussion and dialogue, recitation and independent study, role playing and simulation, questioning and observation. Correct one is the third one, that is role playing and simulation. Next is which of the following is an internal stimulus that pushes the organism to behave in certain way? Drive, positive reinforcement, incentive, punishment. First one, drive is correct. The type of motivation in which people participate in an activity for their own enjoyment and satisfaction, not for the reward it can bring, is referred to as intrinsic motivation, learning motivation, extrinsic motivation, and pure motivation. Intrinsic motivation. Next is memory, attention, problem solving, and perception are key components of which of the following approach? Psychodynamic, humanistic, behavioral, and cognitive. The correct answer is cognitive. Next is in Paulo experimental with dogs, the food is referred to as the unconditioned stimulus, unconditioned response, conditioned stimulus, conditioned response. पहला ठीक है जी, unconditioned stimulus. Money, trading stamps, and tokens are all examples of primary reinforcers, secondary reinforcers, positive reinforcers, negative reinforcers. Correct one is second one, the secondary reinforcers. Following the extinction, which of the following would reappear if Bell represented unconditional response, conditioned response, primary reinforces, secondary reinforces? Correct one was the conditioned response. Next is which of the following is one of the schedule of reinforcement given by Skinner? Variety of enforcement, fixed ratio enforcement, prioritization, and regular enforcement. Correct one is fixed ratio reinforcement. Next is following the extinction, which of the following would reappear if Bell represented? Unconditioned response, conditioned response, primary enforcers, secondary enforcers. Correct one is the conditioned response. Which of the following is not a psychological motive? Curiosity, the need to achieve, power motive, fatigue and need for the sleep. Last one, the fatigue and need. Next is functional limitation of physical and cognitive ability of person is called as handicapped, disability, retardation, none of these. Correct answer is disability. Next is third stage of cognitive development according to Piaget is sensory motor stage, pre-operational, developmental, concrete operational. Correct one is the last one, the concrete operational. Next question is the term mental age was introduced by Alfred Binet, Tolman, Kindergarten and Wesley. Correct one is Alfred Binet. Sidra is able to match upper and lower case letter, identify 5 letters of the alphabets and identify our first and last name in the print. The above statement represent a portion of which component of an IP? Annual goal, short-term objective, present level of performance, and post-school outcome. Third one is correct one, the PLOP. Stanford Binet Intelligence Scale was developed in 1905, 1906, 1916, 1986. Correct one was the 1916. Next, WAIS is an IQ test, ability test, achievement test, or aptitude test. पहले वाला जी IQ test. Trying to understand something new by fitting it into what we already know is called assimilation, accommodation, adaptation, equilibrium. पहले वाला ठीक है जी assimilation. That's all जी. Stay blessed.